Welcome to another episode of This Woman Works. My name is Mike Patton, and on this episode, we will be finding out about how some incidents in life and some times in life actually birthed a wonderful business with my guest. Would you like to tell everyone who you are?
Yes, my name is Shanderia Montgomery. Hello, everyone. And I am the CEO of One Chance Bookkeeping.
All right, we will be speaking with Miss Montgomery about one chance bookkeeping and more in a second. But of course, with every episode, we start out with the Black Girl Magic moment. And on this episode, we are talking about Miss Regina Hall. Yes, Miss Regina Hall, someone that still looks in her 30s, but she is 50. And I am like shocked by this every time I say that myself. But of course, she was born in 1970. Actually, she's of course older than 50, but hey, I'm just going to she was born in 1970 in Washington, D.C. So, when you saw her at the BET Awards doing the butt, she actually was around during that time when that happened, EU and all that. Okay, so she went to Fordham, got her bachelor's degree in 1992 there. Of course, went to NYU, got her master's degree in journalism, which that shocked me. I did not know that. Her first appearance on TV was actually a commercial at age 26, and guest appearances she had on New York Undercover, which I didn't know she was on New York Undercover.
I did.
Of course, her role evolved as she played Candy in The Best Man. Of course, she started out as the dancer, and then she ended up being the teacher. So there we go. The Scary Movie franchise. Everyone probably knows her from that. Of course, playing Brenda Meeks. 2003, she was in Paid in Full, which I'm pretty sure I don't know many know that, but yes, she was in Paid in Full.
Yeah, I didn't know
Uh,
that.
she- yeah, yeah, she's leading roles in Malibu's Most Wanted,
hmm
and King's Ransom, and The Honeymooners with Cedric the Entertainer. She was also in Law Abiding Citizen with Jamie Foxx. She played his wife in that one, I believe.
Okay.
Let's see, Think Like a Man, of course, The Best
hmm
Man Holiday, Girls Trip. Who gonna forget that? I mean,
Right.
that movie was good to watch. And then of course she hosted the BET Awards in 2019. So, of course, a little bit more information. 2020, she inked the first look deal with Showtime under the RH Negative production company, which is her production company. She also develops and produces television projects there, of course. And also in 2020, she signed a 6 film deal with Viacom CBS. So, yes, she is still clocking them dollars. And
Yeah.
a fun fact about her is she actually wanted to become a nun when she was 14. Yeah.
Can I tell you something that's so funny about you even mentioning it?
hmm What's up?
Last week, I was just being funny and I sent my friend a screenshot and I asked what were the requirements to being a nun. That is so funny. And she was like, that was so random. I said, I know. I don't even know why I did that. But I thought that was funny. So I just had to say that. But
Gotcha. Gotcha.
really, she wants to be, that is okay.
I
That's,
got more.
oh, okay.
I got more. She
Okay.
didn't do so then. But after a bad breakup at age 40, she actually tried to be a nun, but
Mm.
she was turned down because the cutoff age is 39.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. So
That's
she
interesting.
actually would have been a nun if she wasn't 40.
Gotcha. When I looked up the requirements, it said that if you are a parent, that is their first obligation. So you automatically don't qualify if you are a parent.
Yeah, that just tripped me out. I was like, okay, I had to read that twice to really like, okay, wow, she really wanted to be
Wanted
a
to be a nun. That's interesting, but that was good. All good.
Well, all in all, got to give props to Regina Hall. Regina Hall has been making us laugh and entertaining us for a long, long time. And I mean, you know, um, and plus people forget about the movie she was in with Joy Bryant and it's Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart played her boyfriend or a guy that we kind of had an on again, off again relationship. I
hmm
think it was About Last Night was the name of the movie.
Oh,
Michael Ealy and Joy Bryant.
about
Uh,
last night. I feel like.
It
No,
was a
that's
remake of an
not
80s
reading
movie.
somebody's mind, was it? I can't remember. I'm
It
not.
was it was a remake of an 80s movie where they met each other and they kind of had a fling and then turned it into a relationship with Joy Bryant and Michael Ealy. Yeah,
Okay. I don't know. I get movies mixed up all the time, but I gotcha.
that's all right. I have pretty good memory when it comes to that. All the movies. Yeah, I definitely remember that movie. I'm probably one of the only people that still remembers that movie. Yeah, because it
Gotcha.
got bad reviews, but they said that Regina Hall and Kevin Hart were the best parts of the movie, which their parts of the movie were hilarious. Because
What was it in like 2020?
oh
Or is
no, it was back then
wait,
on
wait.
that.
Okay, I'm thinking about a different about last night. Then never mind. Never mind. Thinking
Gotcha.
about a different
It's
one.
all good. No worries, no worries. But Regina Hall is our Black Girl Magic moment for this episode. Of course, we do have to move on and talk about Miss Montgomery and her business. That would be
Yay!
One Chance Bookkeeping. We're going to get into that, but of course, first we have to talk about you growing up.
Oh, me
And
growing
now, for
up.
those that didn't catch it at first, can you please pronounce your name so that way people can say it correctly and accurately? Because I know people probably say it all kind of different ways, right?
They
So,
do.
can you
They
please
do.
pronounce your name so everyone understands that this is the way it will be pronounced, and we will not be mispronouncing no names.
Okay. Yes, my name is pronounced Shanderia. So
Mhm.
Shanderia, Shanderia.
All right,
Yep.
and Miss Shandelia, where did you actually grow up?
So I grew up in. I'm originally from Humboldt, Tennessee.
Hmm.
I want to say between 94 and 96, my mom moved to Nashville. And so
Hmm.
we actually lived in Antioch for a while. And my freshman year in high school, I actually moved back to Humboldt and lived with my dad. And I graduated no, not my freshman year, my sophomore year in high school because my freshman year I was at Pearlcombe. So I actually graduated from Humboldt High School, and yep, that's originally where I'm from, Humboldt, Tennessee. And after I graduated, I moved on back to Nashville.
Humboldt. So
Hmm.
Humboldt and Nashville. I know where
West
Humboldt is
Tennessee.
because
Oh, do you?
yeah, I went to college at UT Martin, so I definitely
Oh, okay.
am aware of where Humboldt is. I've been there before.
Oh, okay. So you know all the good festivities and the Strawberry Festival and all the all the fun stuff
Hmm.
that we have to do there.
I
Gotcha.
am aware. I am aware of
Yeah.
Humboldt, Tennessee. So, how was it kind of growing up between Antioch, Nashville, and Humboldt?
So I will say, I enjoyed growing up in Humboldt. I love my grandmother. I used my mom's mom. So every summer we would go and visit her, and just being around her cooking, her just her being in her house, all the grandkids, every summer just hanging out. It was a lot of fun, just being in her presence. Well, she's still living, so let me not, say it like that. Bless you, by the way. And my dad, of course, all of my family, let me just say that both sides of my family, my mom's and my dad's side, they all are in Humboldt. So it was always fun leaving Nashville after school. And then we know as soon as the summer break comes, we get to go straight to Humboldt and just have a good time with family. The transition to Antioch, it wasn't bad. I feel like growing up, my mom, we kind of moved a lot, whether it was just to another place in the local area or to a different city. I actually lived in Minnesota when I was 5. My mom moved us
Oh
there.
wow.
Yeah, my mom moved us to Minnesota. To this day, I've never really asked her why,
Hmm.
but I think we lived there for like a year. I do know that I was probably between the age of 5 and 6. And I remember us coming back. But I feel like being able to learn a little bit about being country and then having a little bit of city life, I feel like I have a good balance, between the two. So yeah, I mean, I think it was good. Also, I did kind of get how can I say this? So when I moved back to Nashville, I mean when we moved to Nashville, and then I moved back my sophomore year to Humboldt with my dad. My senior year, I actually tried to come back to Nashville. And I was gonna go to Stratford High School. I went to the orientation or whatever it's called, and everything,
Hmm.
and I had my car, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move. And then it was like I was so used to working, and it was hard for me to find a job. And I remember calling my dad, and I'm just like, I want to come back home. And I remember calling my boss. I worked at KFC in Humboldt, and I remember calling him, and I was like, hey, if I were to come back, can I have my job back? And so he was just like, yeah, come on. I think his name was Dave or something at that time. I can't really remember. But anyway, so I went from the orientation at Stratford to maybe 2 weeks later going back to Humboldt and finishing up school to graduate. Yeah, I don't know what was going on, with me at the time. I couldn't figure it out, but at the time, but I mean, I guess I thought I knew I wanted to stay, but it was just I had gotten so used to the country, and it was just things were just moving too fast for me after those few years of being there. So a couple of years. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So within that time of, kind of moving back and forth and kind of, growing up in both places, experiencing the country, experiencing the city,
Mm-hmm.
um, what were some of the things that, with just within seeing all those different things? And of course, I can't forget Minnesota. But what was the first thing you really wanted to be growing up?
So, ironically enough, I used to want to be a meteorologist. Why? I just used to look at the Weather Channel all the time, and I used to be like, "Oh man, I want to do that." And I went. It was actually a total of three things. It was a meteorologist when I was probably like in middle school. I just stuck with it. And then when I got to high school, I wanted to be a lawyer. And then I was like, I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I couldn't decide which type of lawyer I would want to be. I just knew that I did not want have to defend people if they were not innocent, and or
Hmm.
if they were guilty. And I just couldn't. In my heart, I was like, I don't think I wanted to even go down that route. But as far as accounting, I remember taking Mrs. Coleman is her was her name, in high school in Humboldt. I remember taking accounting classes, and I absolutely loved it, and I was really good at it too. And actually, I remember one of my classmates, Demedia, her name is Demedia Johnson. She was really good at it too. I remember us kind of always speaking about how we just love the accounting class and just the type of work that we got. And if you mess up on one thing, you got to start all the way over. That was when we were doing everything by hand, whatever. So I remember that being part of the final decision as far as me wanting to be an accountant. I also remember one day after school, the principal, I think his name was Mr. Canada at the time. I think I was waiting on my dad or somebody to pick me up, and I remember it was just maybe a handful of us left after school. And he just asked us, what do we want to be? And I remember saying an accountant. And he just randomly started asking me, so what's your English teacher's? What's her classroom number? And I just was rambling off numbers, not even knowing that I was really paying attention. You know how you just know where something is, but
Hmm.
you don't really pay attention to the numbers. And then that's when I realized, was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I am, pretty good with numbers. But to add to that, this last little tidbit, my grandmother, she has, she's what, 72, 73, and she has been the treasurer for her church, like since before I was born, right? And
Hmm.
I remember growing up in the summertime, she used to have these huge filing cabinets where she would have notebooks where she would keep records of every member and how much they would contribute. And, that was another form of reconciliation with her making sure that the amount was deposited. I remember watching her. So it's a little mixture of a few things. The class between going to the classes and watching my grandmother do her thing.
Okay. All right. All right. So we've kind of, dove into the young Shanderia, but we're going to kind of dive into when business started happening and when those
Okay.
wheels started turning as well. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll dive into that on This Week in
Okay.
Books.
Okay.
EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash are two of the best beard grooming products for men worldwide. They help promote growth, keep your beard moisturized and soft, and enhance your overall upkeep of your facial hair. And with the new promo code MPAFC10, you can get 10% off of these products. Just go to www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. Again, that's www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. And again, the promo code MPAFC10. Again, MPAFC10, where you can get 10% off any products except for beard boxes. So treat your beard better today by going to get these EBO, the EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash.
All right, and we are back on This Woman Works. Now, before we went to break, of course, I mentioned that we don't go commercial, and everyone notices that commercial is a beard commercial, and I know this is a show called This Woman Works. Okay, I like explaining this, so just ride with me for a second.
I got you.
Okay, reason why I even have that commercial on here is because think about this thing for fellas that are watching or listening. We aren't necessarily the best when it comes to taking care of ourselves. We're getting stuff for ourselves. Who's better at that? That would be the women in our lives. They are definitely way better at that than we are about getting things to take care of us. So why not put a commercial for things to take care of us, especially our beards? Because, brothers, we can get scruffy. So, that can actually at least make your beard soft. So, and it could take, your mama, your auntie, or whoever to help you, lean towards, hey, maybe you might want to take care of that beard and just make your beard soft. So there we go. That's why the EBO beard commercial is on the show. And we definitely got the trains coming through.
And you can hear it. Oh goodness.
It's okay. No worries. No worries. It's
It'll be
all
it
okay.
should be quick.
It's all okay. We're still live. We're still rolling. So it's
Okay.
okay. All right.
I
So
wish
the
you
next
could.
thing I wanted to talk about with you is
Mhm.
business, your business. Of course, for those that are not aware, can you please give them the name of your business again?
Yes, the name of my business is called One Chance Bookkeeping. It's actually named after my son Chance.
All right. That's what I was getting ready to ask you. I was like,
Mhm.
okay. So it's named after your son, Chance. Okay.
Yes.
So in regards to getting to your business or, getting, you want to be an accountant and you knew you knew numbers. So how did that journey kind of start for you towards getting your accounting degree and opening your own business?
Okay. So, as far as obtaining my accounting degrees, I actually have three.
hmm
Um, when
Okay,
I
my bad. They
graduated,
made to short you.
and I graduated in 2006. I actually did not start college until maybe a year and a half later. I didn't really. I knew I wanted to be an accountant, but it was like I just wasn't ready to go to school. So, um, I graduated with my associates in accounting in 2009. And then I want to say 2000, and I took a break and I went back, I think in 2011,
hmm
and I got my bachelor's degree in accounting with the concentration of forensic accounting. And then I went back in 2000. I graduated in 2017,
hmm
and I received my master's in accounting with the concentration of audit.
Okay.
So, yeah, those are the three degrees that I have. I also have a diploma in tax preparation, and I continue my education through the courses, through the annual courses, even though I'm not required to. It's not like
hmm
a requirement because I'm not a CPA, but I just still like to kind of keep myself up to date by purchasing the exams and courses of what, so I can stay on top of what's going on and stay certified in whatever area that it may be necessary for my business.
Okay.
So I never I never desired to be a business owner, to be honest, or to be self-employed. I had a friend that was at the time. I remember speaking with her about it, and I was like, I don't want the responsibility. I don't want it. I never crossed my mind to. But after having my son, working in corporate America, and having being a single mom, it was kind of the time wasn't really on my side when it came to the leeway that I may have received if it was just me. I have it was so much unexpected time missed, of course,
Mm-hmm.
work. Um, what put the icing on the cake for me to just go ahead and start my own business? I
Mm-hmm.
remember working for a company, and I remember having to bring my son to work, but pick him up from daycare. And I used to take him to work with me. And sometimes I would be there until like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And he's like 6 months old. And I'm just,
Mm-hmm.
I can't do this. I can't keep doing this. And so I remember reaching out to one of my old bosses at another company that allowed remote work. And
Mm-hmm.
he was just like, yeah, we would love to have you back. Cause I had quit a couple of years prior because, income, I needed a little bit more money at the time. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, okay, so I have to figure out, do I change jobs because of the flexibility and get paid less? But anyway, long story short, I did go back to the other company. They did allow me to come back. I had worked for them prior years for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
When I went back, I was told that I should apply for a senior accountant position. It was almost like, we know that you're going to get it. I was super
Mm-hmm.
excited. It was a greater increase in revenue for me. So I was like, this is all I really need. When it was time for them to make a decision,
Mm-hmm.
well, HR ultimately made the decision. They're like, oh, well, you haven't been here long enough. And so I was
Oh.
told that the 3 years history would actually count as me working for them, but they said that I had only been there 6 months and I had to be there for another six in order to qualify. There was only one
Mhm.
position. And so I remember my manager at that time, I could tell she felt so bad. She was so like, I don't want to say disappointed, but I felt like she felt really bad because she knew that it would help me. She knew I was great at what I do or what I did for them. And I remember I have it somewhere. I found it recently, maybe a year ago, but I remember having a notebook when I got the email of them informing me like, oh well, you've not been here long enough, da da da. And I remember I wrote down in a notebook, I just started writing down different names of businesses and different, like, I'm going to start my own. In that moment, I was like, if this company was excited or allowed me to come back or was happy to have me back, I could do this for myself. That's exactly what I told myself. And so it was on after that. So I
All
did
right.
I did start my business eventually, shortly after that.
Okay. All right. There's nothing like someone to give you a little extra motivation, right?
Yep. Nothing like it.
That's right. That's right. Now, of course, starting your own business. When was I got to ask? When was the first time when you started your own business? What was that feeling like when you actually opened the doors and or open, whatever, online things like that? What was that feeling like when you first started the business?
So I think I felt I can tell you how I felt when I made my first invoice was paid. I remember that
Hmm.
feeling.
Okay.
When my first invoice was paid, I remember like, okay, like I'm doing this. Like somebody is paying me to do this work for them. Like I'm doing it. And when I first started, I think I was kind of nervous to just jump in there because I was still working for the other company. I did speak with people about it, and it was no conflict because doing bookkeeping, keeping someone's books was something completely different than what I was actually doing at the job. So it was
Mhm.
other accountants doing side work too. So I think I was kind of like nervous on trying to figure out the scheduling part because I knew at that time I wouldn't be able to do both. I wouldn't be able to work during the day. I would have to work my business at night. So I think that
Mhm.
was the biggest thing. But when I actually was officially let go, I think it was around COVID from the company.
Mhm.
That's when I was like, okay, it's grind time. It was a lot of I had a lot of inquiries, but most of them did not want to work with me because I did not work my business full time.
Mhm.
So that's when I start seeing a change. It was like it's either you find another job or you jump in full time with this. And so I remember that feeling like, okay, it's time. It's time to do it, and been doing it since.
Now, of course, I have to ask.
Hmm.
Okay, you basically you definitely had a lot of defining moments. I would
Hmm.
say you have the defining moment when you basically you have your son, and you're still kind of working, getting your degrees, doing those things, which was awesome. It's a great story, and a lot of story that a lot of people need to hear in terms of not letting any obstacles or anything get in the way of what you want to achieve. And then also, of course, taking the answer that you were given and kind of making a business out of that, as opposed to just listening to be like, okay, well, I got to be here this long to get this promotion, and
Hmm.
things like that. But I got to ask, when was the first time with this business that you feel like, okay, cool, I'm where I'm supposed to be? I know the invoice was a point, but I know, when was the first time you're like, okay, cool, this is it, this is where I'm supposed to be, this is what God had for me?
Um, I can say that I have that instance quite a bit. Well, I'll say this. Um, when I have clients or people reach out to me, whether it's for bookkeeping or tax preparation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of people come to me either afraid because they're like, I don't know if I'm going to owe a lot of money, or my books are a mess, and it's just that they're all distraught because it's just a lot for them. um
Mm-hmm.
uh, how I know that I'm walking in my purpose is because I once everything is done, like they present to me how many years they behind or they're behind on their books, and once they see I get everything caught up, once I explain everything to them, and then it's like I can sense a difference in their confidence, because now they're able to explain where their business stands and how much their business is making, and they know that they can ask me like anything as far as questions regarding what does this mean, or how does this work, or can I write this off, or can they'll have a better understanding, and to just be able to hear, oh, thank you so much, we appreciate you so much, you are taking a lot of stress off of us because we can focus on our business, and things of that nature. Just hearing though the feedback from my clients is how I know that I feel like that I'm walking in my purpose, because a lot of people that come to me, their biggest thing is if they have had a prior accountant, the communication. They don't really receive a lot of communication. They're hard to get in touch with, or and I'm available, and I make time and schedule time to keep everybody informed. So I feel like the feedback is what really confirms that, and because it's so consistent, it keeps me going. So
Okay. All right. Definitely got a lot more insight into one chance bookkeeping, but we're going to get a little bit more insight into one chance bookkeeping. We talk about the advice and potential hardships that have come along the way. We're going to do that right after this commercial break on This Woman Works.
A shift. A shift is something that happens and changes the dynamics. And that's what happened when Garrett Logistics was born. After 10 years as a sales pro in the logistics world of sporting goods, John Garrett decided to pivot to the world of freight and start a brokerage. So you're saying to yourself, Why trust Garrett Logistics? Well, Garrett Logistics helps shippers improve overall workflow, along with increased on-time pickup and delivery percentages. Last-minute loads, multi-drop pickups, and more are part of the services with Garrett Logistics. They're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., all times Central Standard Time. So give them a ring at 615-400-8484. That's 615-400-8484, or you can email them at john@garrettlogistics.co or visit their website at garrettlogistics.co. Garrett Logistics, where the motto is, it's not just freight to us, it's your business.
All right, and we are back on This Woman Works. I will say this, definitely it has been interesting finding out about how the business came to be. It's definitely been a lot definitely a lot of, I guess, lemons thrown out there, and then a lot of lemonade made out of it. So
Yes.
definitely a lot of, good things. A lot of people that are listening, I would definitely love to kind of pick through and understand just the kind of the way a way has been made out of all the different things that have happened. So, just wanted to throw that out there. But moving on to the next segment of the show, of course, we got the advice and hardships, and people always have tough times in any type of business. Everything isn't always rainbows and sunshine.
Mhm.
So, what are some of the hardest things that you've had to deal with as a Black woman who owns her own bookkeeping business?
Um, I can automatically think of two different things. One would be in reference to trying to get myself known, or have my business known, I should say. As far as building a clientele, I want to say I started hosting events. Well, I hosted my first event in 2019. Because being a single mom, of course, I was like, how I can't just get up and go to events, and then it's so many that's happening. How do I know which ones to go? Things of that nature. Um, and I remember hosting the my very first event, and um, every vendor fee that I received, I pushed it right back into whether it was promoting, whether it was for a door prize, or the venue itself cost me. I remember it cost me $1,000, and I did not have it. I used to drive. I used to do delivery services for Postmates, and I think it
Mhm.
was I can't remember the other one that I did. But I remember I was like, I'm gonna get this venue. This is what I want. This is the standard I want for my business. It was at Gaylord Golf Links with Opryland, and that I remember after that event, it served its purpose basically. And I was like, if I could host this event once a year, because even if they don't need my services now, they'll know who I am now. People will be able to find out about me at least in one day, versus me trying to pay for a babysitter to go to this event and that, and spend so much money just to network with people, when I could just bring them to me, as well as with other business owners. um another thing that I'll say that I find is challenging is being a Black woman. It might be hard for some people to believe, but I actually come across a lot of men who will like pick my brain, or get a certain base of knowledge from me, but then pretend that it's their own. It's happened to me at least 4 times. And
Wow.
I think that is so, like, I will go on social media and I'm like, oh, they're like, oh, thank you so much for teaching me this, and that, this person. I don't say anything, because, it's number one, it's not worth it. But at the end of the day, it's like, you could tell somebody how to do something all day long. But for me, everything that I dish out, or that I explain, I've experienced it myself. So, if they literally could be on the phone, be like, hey, I'm just reaching out to see how does such and such and such work. And then they'll hang up, and then they'll go and act, which is fine. But it's just
Mhm.
like, you're not, it's different when they're not telling you, what they're doing. They're just making it as if that they've experienced it, and this is what done. So I think that that's kind of, I don't know, maybe it could just happen to, it could happen to many people, but from my experience working in the field that I'm in, I have dealt with that quite often from men. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's nothing I can do about it, and I feel like that's what the challenge is. But now I think I had to just kind of just stop caring, because there's nothing I can do about it anyway, right?
Well, there is and isn't, but also the thing is they can also only get to a certain amount of point. So if they
Mhm.
tell some information and somebody follows that information and then they get stuck or something and come back to them, then they're stuck at that point. Then
That's
they're
true.
stuck trying to reach out to you and like, hold up, why did you tell them that? Then you got follow up questions as opposed to them having follow
Hmm.
ups at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'll just cut it off, and I just okay. I see how you move, so I'm okay. Because I feel like I'm an open book, and if you need help with somebody, I don't mind telling anybody anything. I would literally give people the layout if they have a specific question about something, and it's like you do what you want to do with it, but at the same time, it's like don't try to be sneaky,
Hmm.
because it's not that serious. I promise, it's not.
Nah, it never was really that serious. Your business. Um, do you have any kind of advice for anyone that may be either trying to dive into the same type of business you're in, or
Mhm.
just as any other Black women that are trying to get into business for themselves?
Um, for any business owner trying to get into business for yourself, I would say do as much research about your field as possible. I've used to have people ask, I've had people ask me in the past, like, how did you know what you wanted to do? And what I always tell people is ask yourself, what are you currently doing? Do you enjoy doing it? And then make a business out of it if you want to be a business owner. um Somebody in the healthcare field, may enjoy what they do but don't like the processes or the way that the company that they work for operates. If they have a passion to be a business owner, why not, try to figure out or go forward with coming up with their own business plan. That's just how I see it. And I feel like no matter what industry that you're in, you should always try to utilize, especially if you are certified, have a degree, or any type of credential. Trying to take a look at what software or anything that you may be able to receive at a discounted price or for free because you specialize in that particular field. I think that that's something that I did not start out doing, and I wish I had of, because it would have saved me a lot of money at the beginning. But I mean, everything that I go through, I learned to help my clients with. So
Okay.
yep, that would be the advice.
All right. And as far as your business, I mean, it sounds like it's growing and thriving, and
Mhm.
you don't have anybody trying to tell you how to do your numbers when
Mhm.
you know how to do your numbers. So, so I just want to thank you for coming on the show. But we are not done yet. There is a
Okay.
speed round. We have
Uh-oh.
10 questions, random questions,
Uh-oh.
to allow people to get to know you just a little
Okay.
better. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here's the first one.
Hmm.
Your favorite movie of all time.
White chicks.
I didn't expect that one.
I could watch that movie over and over. White chicks.
Okay. All right. Favorite actress or actor?
Angela Bassett.
Yeah, I've gotten that one a few times. Oh, this one's going ought to be interesting. Who
Okay.
would play you in a biopic?
Oh gosh. I don't know. Um, that's a good question.
Hmm.
Who could I choose to play me in a biopic?
You want to come back to that one?
Yeah,
Give us
let's
some
come
time.
back. I don't know because
All right.
somebody came in my head, but I don't know if it would be a good fit.
All right. I had
She
one
would be
actress in mind, but I'll let you talk first.
okay.
Okay. Who is the one famous person you'd love to sit down and have a dinner with, dead or alive? Just to kind of pick their brain.
Um, it could be anybody. You said
Hmm.
anybody famous.
Dead or alive?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Favorite place to eat?
Um, any Mexican restaurant.
Okay. All right. So Taco Tuesday is your move then.
Yes, love.
Okay. All right. Something no one would expect to know about you.
Um,
Like something that you have, like something
I
you do that no one would be like, wow, you do that, or you enjoy
I would
this or
just
something.
so a lot of people I used to twirl baton. I used to be a baton twirler. A lot of people don't know
Oh,
that. Yeah, I used to twirl
okay.
baton.
Okay. All right. Um, let's see. Favorite era of music. 'Cause, they got 90s R&B, you had neo soul, you got all those different eras. What
Ah,
would you say is your favorite era of music?
I would say, oh, I just love it all because I'm a music freak. If I had to choose, it would probably be 90s R&B.
Okay. Yeah, 90s R&B does have a stranglehold on a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna say neo soul because
Neo
music.
soul.
Yeah, when I was a freshman in college,
Uh-huh.
neo soul, Music Soul Child, that album came out in
Yeah.
2000. I was like, yes, yes. I wore that album out, and of course, that was around the burn CD era.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
I done jacked that whole burnt CD up. I had to get it burnt again. I done
Yeah,
messed it
yeah.
all up.
I used to burn CDs and sell them for $5.
Oh, used to be a guy selling them 3 for 10 in college. 3 for 10. So
That's funny.
uh
But yeah, I could listen to anything except for heavy metal.
yeah. Oh, give me 80s music too. Give me some 80s. Give
Mhm.
me Lionel Richie, Michael, Prince, Phil Collins, Hall and Oates. We can just keep going on and on. But
Yeah, yeah.
who's your speaking of music, who's your favorite musician of all time?
Uh, favorite musician. Does it have to be like a band or
It could be a
well
band.
of all time?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was always hard for me because I just who could listen to? I'll just name a group. I like Jagged Edge. Their
Okay,
group.
see, there we
Their
go.
group. There's so many albums that I could listen to without
Mhm.
skipping anything. Is how I came up with that. Yeah, without
Gotcha.
skipping one song. So I would just say Jagged Edge.
The funny thing about Jagged Edge that I don't think many people recognize, their video Gotta Be, it had
Hmm.
two different versions. The first version of the video actually had Destiny's Child playing the love interest for all of them. The
Okay.
second one didn't have Destiny's Child in it. That's a fun fact nobody knows. Nobody
I
really paid
wonder why they
attention.
had to change it.
I don't know. Maybe they knew Destiny's Child
Mm,
was gonna blow up. I don't know. Uh, or
interesting.
or or maybe Beyonce said, no, no, we can't do this. I don't know. Who is the worst movie you've seen of all time?
Purge.
Oh,
I
you don't
think
like
it was
scary
one of the
movies, I know,
Purge.
right?
No, I do. I just didn't like that one. For
Mm.
whatever reason. That or either no Bird Box. That was
Bird Box was interesting.
that was interesting, but I
Yeah,
could have not watched it and I would have been okay.
it was
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I'm still waiting on somebody to say Soul Plane. Nobody has said Soul Plane yet.
Have I even seen Soul Plane? I think I have. I
And Kevin Hart rebuys that plane, and yeah, Godfrey is in that movie, and
yeah.
Snoop, and yeah,
If
it's
you can't
movies.
tell, I don't watch a lot of movies. I'm a music fanatic, so I don't. But I probably have seen Soul Plane. It's just been a while.
Gotcha. Okay, and the last thing, well, I would say the next last one event you'd like to go back in time to attend. It could be something that was big, famous event, or it could be something that's small event like hometown or anything like that too.
You said my hometown. Is that what you said?
It could be like a small hometown event, or it could
Hmm.
be a big event from either back in the day, or
Hmm.
you were either alive or weren't alive, anything like that.
Um. So I'll just say, when the Strawberry Festival that I mentioned earlier in Humboldt, when I
Mhm.
was younger, it used to be so much fun. And I have
Mm-hmm.
not been in years. I don't even think I've ever taken my son. Maybe I've taken him to the fair afterwards. But the Strawberry Festival when I was a kid, that's like a really it's one of those moments to where it's like, man, I used to have a good time, walking downtown Humboldt and so I would say that would be interesting if I could go back and experience that and then come on back.
Mm-hmm. Got you. Yeah. I don't know. I was sitting there thinking about some historical stuff. I was over here
Historical.
thinking about I was thinking about Martin Luther King and his speech in
Oh,
DC.
see,
I was
I
like, ooh, I would love to have been there, but I don't know if I want to be around during that time. The speech,
so
yes.
that type of stuff, I would like to have been a fly on the wall or something. Or I don't know
Mhm.
how I would. I don't know. A lot of people say, that couldn't have been me, or I don't know how I would have reacted. But I feel like growing up in different times, you adjust to,
Yeah.
how those times are. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Now, who would play you in a biopic? We got to go back
So
to that
I was
one.
look the first person that popped in my mind was Kiki Palmer, but I'm just like,
Kiki can
I
play
don't know.
anybody.
Yeah, yeah. I was that
Hmm.
she's the first person that popped in my mind, but I was like, I don't know if I want to say her or not. But you got me
Hmm.
with that one. I'm not sure. Or
Gotcha.
yeah, I'm not sure. Other than
Okay. All right.
what were
Right.
you
Well,
gonna say?
I was gonna say maybe Regina could do it.
You know
There you
what?
go.
There you go.
All right. All right. We have reached the end of the speed round. We have reached the end of the show. I want to thank you for coming on the show, Miss Shanderia Montgomery.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. But of course, can't let you out of here without telling everyone where they can find you on social media, and then
Hmm.
also, the website for the business, whatever
Hmm.
information you want to give. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, again, my name is Shanderia Montgomery, and the owner, operator, CEO of One Chance Bookkeeping, located here at 304 South Lowry Street, Suite A2 in Smyrna, Tennessee. Although I'm here from 9 to 5, we are appointment only, which you can book an appointment for services on our website, www.onechancebookkeeping.com. The core services offered is bookkeeping, tax preparation for individual and small businesses. So we can be found on Facebook also, One Chance Bookkeeping, as well on Instagram, One Chance Bookkeeping.
Got you. Got you. You can also be on TikTok too. I saw that.
Oh
But
yeah, I don't really be on there, so I be forgetting about TikTok. But yes,
that's
TikTok,
all right.
One Chance Bookkeeping.
That's all right. I found you when I was putting up the little promotion for the show. So
Okay,
Uh,
gotcha.
all right. But yeah, of course, I'm the host of the show, Mike Patton. You can find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Mike Patton82. That's MikePatton 82. Of course, This Woman Works can be found on Spotify and YouTube and hopefully more places soon. Of course, on YouTube, you can find it at the Mike Patton Network. We have a couple shows there. Of course, you can find me on Instagram and Threads at the CHA, not THE _ general _ MP. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Touring the AFC South. Excuse me, of This Woman Works. I got my shows mixed up. I want to thank you all for tuning in for this episode of This Woman Works. I'm your host, Mike Patton. We're out. Peace.